Hey guys, how's it going? Today I have a Tirpitz ranked replay for you. This was a match I played a little bit ago on the hotspot map. Now, I've started a little bit earlier than I usually would just because I want to explain my general strategy for how I tend to play my Tirpitz in these ranked battles. I use that as a sort of area control, area of denial ship. Since it has pretty good secondaries and I do have it fully spec'd for secondaries, it's a little bit of a pest for destroyers, and I also really like shooting destroyers with my main batteries. So I tend to push up next to caps or into general areas where I'm going to block people off from moving or scare people out of moving. And I'll tend to focus down cruisers and destroyers. But this match is a little bit different. This Akizuki, who, props to him, great play this game and very supportive, is asking me if I would like to flank. Now, this is actually a pretty good idea on this map for certain players, because if the enemy team doesn't go this way, you catch basically the rear or broadsides of their battleships as they line up for mid and try to shoot your destroyers in C. Alternatively, you can park your ship near this volcano and just can take massive control of the center area, being able to shoot all the way over into C and secondary anything that tries to charge you. Now, that shift to enter binocular view is a little bit of a replay bug right now. Not entirely sure what causes that, but you won't see it for the rest of the match. But the Tsamagi has basically stopped the plan of the flank because he's over here and it looks like there's another battleship behind him. I'm taking a bit, but I focused my secondaries onto the Amagi, and I'm going to try to get a little bit of damage off before I have to duck behind the island. Yep, there's an enemy Torpitz. No, I haven't traded too well so far. Both these battleships have been basically kicking my ass as per health trade. Amagis have a fairly trolly side armor belt per Tirpitz shells, but I'm just going to duck behind the island, get out of their fire range, and hopefully not take any more damage for a little bit. It looks like I did stop their push though, as neither of them want to come around that corner into the front of a Tirpitz, with my torpedoes, secondaries, and main batteries at the ready. But as you can see now, I'm turning my ship a little bit towards mid. I want to deny this Chapayev from going towards C, where all my destroyers are. So I threw a few shells his way. I don't think they're going to hit. Oh, I got an overpen. That's better than nothing, I guess. But I'm trying to deny him and keep him out of the battle as much as I can. And that's keeping them from A, killing our destroyers, and B, taking over the cap point. And my little Akizuki friend here is smoking me up, which is very helpful since I was trying to basically recover a little bit of my health, or basically get out from under fire, which it doesn't look like either of these two battleships are, like I said, are too keen on pushing around the corner. They're actually turning back towards mid and turning back towards their North Carolina, who's right now he's solo against our two North Carolinas, both bow tanking center. So he shouldn't be trading too well, but it looks like they're focused mainly on shooting the Chapayev, not that I blame them. But there's an Akatsuki in mid. Akatsuki, it's not an amazing destroyer in random sometimes, but in this little 7v7 setup, the high DPM of the Akatsuki, if it can get spotting on enemy destroyers while it's in smoke, or just if it's in a 1v1 situation, it'll tear them apart. So I did focus on him for a minute. I lobbed a few shells that way, but it is German dispersion, so I'm not entirely sure if those would have hit anyway. Really, I'm not denying any area, and this is kind of upsetting me right now. The only thing I'm doing is keeping these other two battleships out of the fight and keeping that North Carolina from pushing. I can't run down the Chapayev and make sure he doesn't get into the battle. I can't support my destroyers, even though we do have a cruiser over there doing a great job of that, and North Carolina is slipping across center. Really, I'm just denying their battleships, and I'm not doing a whole lot yet. And I haven't traded too well, so I'm not in the best position, and I'm not in the best of shape, at least in my opinion. And that's actually going to lead me to fuck up pretty soon, if you'll excuse my French there. I am going to make a pretty big mistake here, and it's going to set a course for me brawling for the rest of the match. Now, this Amagi looks like he's pushing mid between these two islands, which he is. And I'm going to try to launch my torpedoes early. but just as I launch my torpedoes, I actually get spotted. I hadn't been spotted for a while. That's probably why he was pushing mid in the first place. But you could see as soon as I turned the torpedo indicator off that he was actually starting to slow down. He predicted that I was going to throw torpedoes around the corner, and he basically slowed down enough to avoid them. And my little 6-kilometer Tirpitz torpedoes will not take his side. I lob my shells at the Tirpitz, doing 7,000 damage to him, but the Amagi rolls around the corner. I'm at not the best angle to him, and he's broadside, so he's going to get all those 410s on me, and yeah. Over half my health taken away. I think that Citadel was right through my front turret, which you now see is knocked out for a little bit, and he's now turned in to prevent me from doing a lot of damage to him. My secondaries are on him. There's a North Carolina off to my side that's putting in a massive amount of supporting fire. And you can see he's actually turning to both try to avoid me ramming him and angling to my North Carolina. But I do have another set of torpedoes, and I'm going to drop them right there because it doesn't look like he was too eager to turn again. And lo and behold, 4 torpedo hits will sink him. But now I have a problem. I'm not on the best of health, I'm just under 20k, and that's a 4,500 health, 45,000 HP Tirpitz out in front of me. Not the thing I'd like to be trading against. So I fire off my main batteries. The North Carolina is actually pushing around the side after me. Do about 8k to him, and I need to get out of his secondaries. I put out both fires that he just set, which is not setting me up in a very good position if something else wants to set me on fire. Though I did get a fire on him in return. The Akatsuki is actually chasing him out of that corner, doing a very good job of pestering him. And there's that North Carolina. His secondaries are lighting me up. My secondaries have been switched to him. I do have manual secondaries, so I have to do that every time. And yeah, if I sat still, he would pick me off slowly with those little 4,000 HP salvos through the front. But the problem is he's turning out, and my torpedoes on that side are not available currently. So I fire a few shots into his bow, trying to get a Citadel onto his guns. I don't. Only do 8,000 damage, which it looks like my team's putting in a massive amount from behind me with a little bit of supporting fire from the Akatsuki. I set a fire on him. My secondaries are going to town at this range. There's my high caliber. My torpedoes are just about to reload. He's turning out. I launch them and immediately angle myself to the Torpitz because that North Carolina can't aim its guns this way. And there he goes. And there's that Chapayev. I need to get him away from my destroyers, so I launch a couple shells his way. Will those hit? Nope, it looks like they straddled him. Okay, so I can't really help my destroyers. Both my guns are on the opposite side of my ship, and now I've got a Tirpitz to deal with. Now that Tirpitz has been taken down a little bit since I last faced him, and I'm using one of my last heals right now. So I'm kind of charging him down, hoping I can at least get a torpedo salvo off to finish him off, but lo and behold, I won't really have to. It looks like somebody chunked him for a good portion of his health, and with my secondaries going off on him and the Akatsuki lighting him on fire, he's not really long for this world. He did make me lose one of my turrets, which is a little bit painful since it was one of my front ones, but with all the fires that he just put out, and the Akatsuki taking him down with fires himself, I'm in a pretty good standing. The Chapayev can't push out and fire on me because the North Carolina behind me would take him out. And, well, now he's dead because the other North Carolina pushed up over there and slaughtered him. And all that's left is that Loyang. So I'm just going to take this cap point. I don't really have to worry about that destroyer since we have such a massive conglomerate of teammates over there. And I'm just saying good job to our Akatsuki because they were really good about pushing those battleships out of that corner and basically forcing them into both my guns and both of our North Carolina's guns. Even if I made a mistake, lost half my health, and had to basically charge down 2 out of the 3 enemy battleships, that Akatsuki was a major player in that because he pushed them towards me. If the Akatsuki hadn't been there, I'm pretty sure those 2 battleships could have pushed around that corner. Maybe one of them would have taken some torpedoes from me, but I would have sank pretty quickly. Tried to get some shots over at that Loyang, but sadly, won't happen. My team cleans them up for the end of the game, and which brings a very, very swift victory. That was one of the faster paced matches I had in ranked. Usually I'm a little bit more reserved. Like I said, I like to play area control. On north, you'll see me park next to the cap zones behind an island. I will try to avoid taking a lot of damage, but I'll have control over that cap zone because I'll sit behind something I can fire over, and something that hopefully my secondaries decide to fire over. I've noticed the AI for that's a little bit wonky when you're behind cover, but it's worked out pretty well for me as per area control Tirpitz, and this game wasn't exactly the norm, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, I got 6 torpedo hits. Sadly, I didn't save the end screens. I don't remember what rank this was at. I think it was around 7. But it was just a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed playing with my teammates in that one because they all played really well. I mean, we only lost 1 destroyer, and I think that was in a small duel on the other side of the map, and I think he sank the other destroyer that was fighting him. So, very good job to them all, and just a really enjoyable ranked game. It wasn't anything where I got a couple double strikes or I haven't gotten a crack in this season, but it wasn't the most amazing, but it was something that I could easily say I messed up on. But even though I messed up, I still capitalized on pushing down that Amagi in the North Carolina, and my teammates were there to support me all the way. So, very fun. Before I actually end this video, I want to say there's 1 day left on my New Year's giveaway. It's in the previous video, so feel free to stop by that, drop your name in there, and maybe you'll win some premium time, gold, or a ship. Good luck to you all, have a happy New Year's, and hope you have some fun in ranked. See you next time.